Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be diving into the Vampire Lestat episode 2. If you missed the first episode, I am going to be starting a playlist so that you can just tune in and watch them back to back to back as they come out. I don't want to delay this any further. Make sure that you have something nice to drink. I'm just drinking a little bit of water, and let's get into this.
You are listening to The Failures, Album 8, Side A.
If you're still listening after the epiphany.
Oh yeah, that's right. We found out that he is kissing his mommy.
Fondling my...
The boy possesses an ability to envision the unseen, the holy. He would be well suited to the monastic house at Haute-Loire.
Baby Lestat.
Are you a good boy, Lestat?
Gee.
Answer your brother, Lestat.
This actor, that actor, I've seen him numerous times at this point. I don't know his name, but I'm trying to think the most recent Bomb Girls. It's like a show that takes place in the 1950s when women had to go work in the factories. That's what I most distinctly think of him as. But every single time I've seen him in a role, it seems like he's always playing like a tight neck, straight A by the book kind of guy. So it's interesting to see him outside of that, especially since I thought that show was so niche. And maybe it is a niche show. If you've seen it before, let me know. But
The next pope.
We can mend his affliction. He would learn to find consolation in philosophy.
What is the course of studies at Haute-Loire?
Aristotle, Erasmus.
I ask.
do you remember when Lestat was saying that to Luis's brother? He just chanted that
Erasmus.
over and over and over again in a row.
Cicero, Alberti, Bruno.
Funny how it all circles back around again.
Was impressed into service.
She sacrificed her youth, squandered her
daughter.
intellect.
Better a gong farmer than an actor.
Better an actor than a cabbage.
Look up from your book when you speak to our father, huh?
Cabbage. Cabbage.
Is it Grégoire?
A question for the philosophers. Can a cabbage suffer?
Can a cabbage suffer?
Cabbage.
Oh,
Say cabbage.
oh.
One more goddamn time.
Cabbage.
Break his legs!
That's gonna be an earworm for sure. Cabbage. Cabbage.
Cabbage. As we do. You will marry your worth and have children who will shame you the way you have shamed me.
Ew, he's drooling while he's talking. She doesn't give a single fuck.
She had a cold beauty, like snow behind a thick, distorting wall
Her
of
kid is being
glass.
stabbed in front of her
And I
and
grew
choked
hard by
alive,
example.
and she said, "Now back to where I was." It's crazy how small he looks here compared to when he's a vampire. He has a very different demeanor,
In the hills since I was a boy.
and
Magnificent
plague
words
has stricken them.
troubled brother. Peace.
Keep coughing, huh?
Seeding the nothings you add, bearing more nothings you will.
Their house is so chaotic.
Nothing!
This is definitely a white person's house because could you imagine? Could you imagine?
They're going down, Lestat. The wolves will move on.
This is actually exactly how I imagine it is when you were a kid and going to your white friend's house. This is exactly it. Wolf killer,
The good in me
my
lost to the
little
monster.
wolf killer.
My sense of wonder abandoned in a traveling player's wagon.
I guess I'm glad that maybe we didn't have to see Sam Reed get torn apart, but I am, like, when I was reading the wolf killer scene, it was kind of cool to imagine him just like fighting off 8 wolves, I believe it was, all by himself. Like,
You killed 5 wolves.
that was one of the first times I've had a moment where I'm like, my imagination was better than what they showed us.
They were about my horse.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have to see that. That would have been unfortunate. And that also would have been unfortunate. It seems like I know what's about to happen, and honestly, a lot of it is because this is book accurate. This is very in line with the book
Your
here.
father, you know what I dream? I'm
Wait.
drinking wine. So drunk.
I wonder what that salve is
Of my clothes
historically.
laid on
What that salve would be.
Meg. I go into the village.
I can't get past their accents.
And I take into bed.
It kind of reminds me of Maura Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Crude men, big men, old men, boys, taking them one
Now,
after another.
right.
And
She knows. She's like,
some
now hold up.
magnificent release in it. No thought of your father or your brothers in that moment. I belong to no one. Except for me.
Now, we know that's wrong, right? We don't condone this, right? I kind of want to point something out real quick, though. I do enjoy, so in the last episode, in the last video where I covered the first episode, I did mention that you can tell that this is supposed to be a different mindset point of view from the color grading. We get the interview with the vampire, the OG color grading back in the flashbacks. And then here we're brought back to more of the contrasting colors and the chaos of it all, the more blinding blues of the contacts. And I do appreciate how they're using color grading to tell the story, to differentiate, because you'll notice a lot of things. We talk about this all the time. A lot of shows right now and a lot of movies, they seem very stale. They seem very commercialized. And that's because they aren't artistically using light and color grading to tell a story anymore. And so I just wanted to take a brief intermission to appreciate the artists that are working on this series that are using color to tell a story.
I saw them too.
Oh, and the
As well as how you know when there's the documentary, because it's black and white, obviously.
Which is a one-way street that I control. Suitcase bomb.
Where are we?
I love that they're reading Interview with the Vampire.
This again?
Babe, that might have been an overreaction. Calm down.
Forgotten my name already?
Hello, Sophia.
Pseudonym.
She had come a great distance to comfort me, and you are being very patient regarding the vampire incest factor.
They're calling it out, okay?
Play baseball? Like in Twilight?
Also, though, sound of that little growl perturbed that it's towards his mother, but it is good. I've learned my lesson. We are not getting in trouble for the intro again, okay? I got copyright strike for the intro, and we are not. Larry. Is that his name? Larry. The name I kept forgetting last time. Larry.
3 of us, 9 of you.
Larry doesn't sound like a real name. I'm sorry to all the Larrys out there, but that doesn't sound like a real name.
Daniel. I'm a Taurus on the cusp of Aries. I prefer AB negative. Who is your maker?
Have you tried RH? No. Only 45 people on the planet possess it. Only 9 active donors.
Tell me all about it, babe.
Hey, look, this isn't a goddamn joke.
In love with the story at hand. I also like that this carton mimics blood drops.
But willful ignorance is sleep in a giant's hand.
What a nice little
Oh,
touch.
come on, have you ever seen me in the letter day?
Armand is a day
Did you
walker.
help me hose off
And
my
he has his
Mustang
binky
at a
vape.
self-service car wash in Spokane?
said that was a deer.
As DEAR as any KFC night manager has a right. I have the blood of Akasha in me.
Sorry, what the fuck is a kasha?
What is important
the
and
blood
what
of
we
Akasha
should
on
be
him.
celebrating is what
No
we
way.
did
Are all
on
your songs
stage
about this guy
last
Lewis?
night. We were
Lewis?
raw, nasty, transcendent. Excuse me?
And I lost you.
It's Louis, not Lewis, and the you are referring to could be one of 24 paramours at some point.
He's like, I get around lots. Absolutely
We were
lots.
beyond epic
What's that one
last
love?
night.
That one love that I had a baby
What
with.
we are all
What's that
sweating.
one?
Eating black licorice is not about sucking Lewis's dick.
Black licorice is about the first kill I made after Louis and I reconciled.
That's it.
I lived
calling the cops.
54,554
The meta-ness of it all.
days before I met Louis de Pointe-Lac.
Because people on beds were all debating
people.
what black
We are
licorice
people.
was about as well.
So would
We quit. Come on,
We, babe. We. Do we?
Larry.
they don't want
It is Larry.
but
We got it.
being a vampire, I can tell you what they're thinking. Would you like to know what they're
That would
thinking?
piss me off. So bad.
1,500 when we started, 20,000. TC was talking about Larry, not you. You are the best pure musician we have, other than me. So take your time, Alex. Process it, as they say. But think thrice before running to the police or sharing in one of your anonymous groups. Not if you value your life
Ah, threat.
or your brother's.
Double threat.
You are listening to The Failures.
I do also
Album
enjoy how this
12,
is done
side
as a
B.
voiceover. Yeah, it's like a voiceover
There's a
tale.
dearth of
My maker called for his mama, and I came. And came. And came.
yeah, about that.
I know, we really shouldn't.
No, God.
We need to make a pact if you're gonna stay.
It's so naughty what we're doing, and we
want
shouldn't. But alas, we're probably going to do it again and again and again and again.
Companionship
Gross.
without the calm.
Jail. This is so
I recognized myself.
incredibly sexual. Yikes.
It comes back around again. How long are you gonna stay?
Lestat's ability to just
I saw you 2 times last century. It's not an unreasonable question.
draw you
Long
in.
enough.
Crazy.
Long enough for what?
Why take so many cars?
Triumph is
This
a dark
accent
road,
is
Sophia.
bonkers.
And each man must find his own exit.
The worst reveal themselves through time in the corona.
A curious tangle of hunters and hunted.
Rashid, he's in here. You can't see much because we're in the
And then it
club.
happened again.
Okay, I can't show you very much. Actually, this is the perfect place to, number one, let me know if you would watch me do like the full episode, no cuts, and then I could put them up on Patreon. I couldn't do them here because obviously copyright, but also because there's literally booty on my screen. So if you would watch me react to the full episode, let me know, and I will put them up on my Patreon happily. But I also want to give a shout out to like a comment from a previous video. This one is from Tim Shaney, and he says, I think Louise is the wife. Give Lestat's hairstylist a raise. And my favorite thing about this fandom is how everybody's trying to figure out which of our husband wives is the wife. And everybody's reasoning for why Louise is the wife and why Lestat is the wife. And I gotta say, Lestat does give deadbeat father vibes. I'm sorry. He gave a baby and then he left. And also had a side chick. Also then decided to just go off and do his own career. Like, man is giving deadbeat, whereas Louise is very dedicated to even avenging his deceased daughter's life. So, and that to me gives more mama energy. That gives more wife energy. But let me know what you think. Who's the wife? Lestat or Louise? I know we're in a breakup right now. It is rude to speculate on their relationship while they're apart, but we can't help it. We Can't help it. We're beautifully unwell. We're the beautiful unwell. This is what we do.
Well, I mean, that doesn't happen anymore, damn the invites, but
Being with Gabriella is like...
That's Lestat. You are nasty. You are crazy and nasty.
Predatory spirit.
Predatory spirit? I could say the same thing about you, ma'am. The Great Conversion.
Randy, last man standing. Do you have a lot of sex?
This is... Ma'am.
I'm a rock star now.
I'm a rock star now.
Do you like it?
That's Tommy Wiseau.
Like you do the blood.
It's never like the blood.
Nasty. They're nasty.
Help ourselves. We rode the edges of our pact.
That pack means jack shit. I guess now we are meeting Thomas Pitt.
Calculated, so the figure we've put forth was based on comps the engaged architectural firm provided.
For a hotel hallway massacre.
Comparable damages to comparable spaces. I'd like to add a line for cascading glass. The parking structure below had a fleet of vehicles lacerated.
These cleanup numbers are made up.
The cleanup numbers in this case are mostly going towards silencing witnesses.
This is not my first clown rodeo, Grace Jones and Gucci.
Insult received as compliment.
Anyone who won't take a couple thousand in an envelope, you guys do the mind-wipey thing, so you could take that line item and hold it over your vampire bidet. We could have done the shit over the phone.
According to Mr. Pitt here, your client's the one who called this meeting.
He did no such thing.
You stole my personal physician. You hired my biographer. You trashed my hotel.
I didn't
The
know.
Detroit Coven trashed your
I've
hotel.
heard the song.
The songs are not about you.
It feels like a cry for help. So I flew in.
He said, my baby mama need me. Hold on.
Cared in your book.
We've been through all this.
The fact that you insulted me, page after page.
Take it up with Malloy, who wrote it, or the Talamasca, who
And why
published
are
it.
you employing Sam Barkley after Paris?
He's paying down his debts.
Oh, bottom line, Louis. All sins negotiated.
Sam didn't get on a boat.
We're here to litigate.
Sam didn't
Not
memorize
No,
it.
he did not direct a play and then come home canoodling with one of its victims, did he?
Oh.
Who did that, I wonder? Repeat the name.
Here we go. This scene.
Santiago, I could understand. At least he had a presence, but...
I'm happy to discuss Armand if you think that would help
Is it true that you
Lestat.
had a second home in
Oh my
Sausalito
God.
with him?
We did?
Did you take turns driving across the Golden Gate Bridge? You held the wheel harder?
Writing numbers on each other's backs and pretending
Rage
to get
bait.
them wrong.
Rage
I bet.
baiter.
I bet!
And took the
Very
bait.
specific detail to pluck out of thin air!
Oh.
We're taking minutes of this.
I think we can wrap this up dispassionately.
Yes, let's try and circle
Dispassionately.
back to the particulars.
Are you two fucking?
Oh.
Yes.
Companion enough for yourself a year over?
He's not my companion. He's a great lay and emotionally unavailable.
He said, I just like his body.
Yes. Petite, surprising, and can perform what most metropolitan draining systems could only dream of.
What a way metropolitan
Are you
draining
enjoying this
system.
exclusive fan experience?
I am.
What
Christine, could you please
a
provide
way
two
to
tickets
describe a
Mr.
person.
Pitt here and his Esquire for tomorrow night's show.
Thomas
One will
Pitt.
do. Lemuel doesn't enjoy your music.
Tom Cruise?
I
Brad
do like
Pitt?
your merchandise,
Anyone?
though. Healthy margins considering the size of your tour.
That's why I own 40% of it.
Of my merch.
25%.
45? My bad.
He said, damn.
I was afraid, I was afraid, I was afraid.
He said, hold up. 45. Okay. New song. Also, his audience is the biddies, okay? I've seen people talk about how
A little thin without Alex.
the music, how he would not be a big star now because rock music isn't necessarily in vogue at the moment. But I think they know that. That's why the audience is smaller, full of older people. Like,
No, not her.
it's because they.
The one standing
That
in
lady.
judgment of the buck-eyed goth. The one from the bus. Yeah.
There are a few young people that are
now
into
go up from
niche
her to the
thing,
balcony
but
and get me
I
a
think they're
frame
very
of
aware
pretty green
of the fact
eyes
that
again.
he would not be the Sabrina Carpenter
He
of today.
is the story.
pretty boy.
Mr. Dulac, what brings you to Toledo?
You're looking younger, Daniel.
Monocytes in Manjaro.
Montero.
I'm still pissed.
Want to brawl it out in the alley after the show?
All right.
They really love putting glitter on my Wait, I just noticed. Why are her ears covered? I don't know if you can see in the right back corner, but Gabriella's ears, she's just like, turn this mess off. Like, she hates her son so bad. This is the kind of gay theatrics that I'm into vampires for. Because what is this? What is this scene? What is this scene? This is gay theatrics. This come on. This is insane. Oh my god. This is This is serious. This is a serious moment, okay? This is insane. Y'all. It's so corny, but it's like lovably corny.
Call comes in from some Hollywood asshole asking me whether I want to write the movie version of the book. I'm like, blow me, lose my number. Calls me back a week later, what about a documentary? I'm like, Louis won't even talk to me. He says, not Louis, Lestat, the white guy.
The
Old
white
friends
guy.
talking around
He's
the
French.
small betrayal.
He ain't white, he's French.
And I know what you're thinking. He wasn't there. But this is my hour. And when tertiary figures appear in it, I will be speaking for them.
So now we are straight up told if there's any question about it,
I get it
this is
now.
his version of events.
Taking up bowling,
Okay?
where suddenly everyone around me disappears, like the raptures come, and I, you know, I feel him.
Armand?
Yeah. That happened with you and Lestat?
No.
Him comparing powers right now.
Sounds weird.
Look, I'm sorry. Okay?
Reese is like,
I should have.
that ain't my experience. That's not a universal experience, babe. I've also noticed
He didn't like the part about Claudia
they
and him on the
use
train.
more of a blooming lens
Find our way back again.
for Lestat. Blooming lens will put like halos on everything. I technically have a blooming lens on mine, but you can't. There's nothing really for you to be able to tell that it's on, but it makes the lights extra, have more of a halo effect around them. That dreamy effect.
I saw Claudia.
Claudia.
Our hurt
someone
boy.
who looked like her. But in her 20s, if she'd made it to her 20s.
Happened to be going in the same direction, kinda, sorta.
Daniel just be tee-heeing while Luis is recalling something emotional. And that's why Daniel Malloy gets beat up.
Don't eat me for this, Louis.
Oh no. What did you do?
My producers want to meet you.
Daniel Malloy, Daniel Malloy. Why? Why? Why is he this way?
Rashid,
Real
Daniel
Rashid.
Malloy, Raglan, James, Louis Dupont, Dulac. We all work together in Dubai.
They got me on
Raglan
retainer.
is totally a quirky,
not
crazy
cool,
girl. Okay. Well, we are watching a show about vampires. Well, what did we expect?
I see why you took her back.
And we were having such a good night.
But now we're not. For a day.
She said, excuse moi. Sorry for talking about your love life that I am somehow included in. I do wish we got the lyrics to this so that we could translate it or something, you know? sings in French doesn't really help much for anything, you know? Slutty little glasses. I got slutty little glasses too. Because of Luis. I can't put them on with my headphones on, but, well, maybe I can. But I got them, so I could be like my favorite vampires. Her turning. Her great bravery after she's been turned. I don't remember this from the book. I would think I would. Oh, you know what? Actually, I may not be here yet. No. I should be at this point if this is gonna happen. I think. If somebody could help translate the song or even just put the song in French in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it because, well, first off, I'm deaf and I need the captions anyway, but second off, I obviously don't know French that well to be able to even begin to translate. So either the translation or what you heard in the captions or in the content, comment down below in the section down below, and I would greatly appreciate that.
So real Rashid is really Rashid? That's his actual name?
We're back to Rashid.
I emphasize the first syllable, Rashid. Rashid, do you have a preference?
No. I have a plane waiting for
They all
me.
talk like Mora.
in Detroit.
What's the ask, Mr. James?
He said, don't talk to me about my wife.
We would like you to take care of our problem in Detroit, Mr. Dulac. The Coven leader's name is Killer.
Killer.
Tell Vampire Sam I'm gonna need him in
Does anybody
Vegas
remember
and
that
Reno
name?
next month.
Killer?
Been tracking him since 1925.
Killer? 1925?
Offloaded from a boat
Killer?
out of Copenhagen.
Killer.
I don't care.
Went by a different name then.
Killer.
His name was Bruce.
Bruce. The Fang Gang.
Bruce.
Anybody
believe
remember?
Claudia
Bueller? Bueller?
spent a few nights with him once.
Boom. And that is episode 2 of the Vampire Lestat. Let's get a little bit more into this. So, compared to the first episode, I still stand by my thoughts of the first episode, that the first episode was strictly introductory. It was strictly just to bring us back into the world. But now that we are back into the world, we are getting lore. We are getting, honestly, pretty good, at least in my opinion, pretty good a book retelling of the Vampire Lestat. We are getting connections because Luis really isn't a huge part of the Vampire Lestat. So honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that Luis is the people's princess, they could have not had Luis in this season. And obviously, we're all very, very glad that they did. They had to find a way to include him, and I'm glad that they are using him for revenge. They're using him for a revenge arc. This episode was mostly about trying to get us more accustomed. I can't believe I'm saying this. More accustomed to the idea that he is going to be kissing his mommy. There's a hair or something on my face, and I don't have a mirror over here, and it is driving me absolutely insane. And I just have to remind myself that I'm almost done here. Anyway, they are trying to get us accustomed to the fact that we are going to see some mommy kissing, and that because of this, it's really supposed to further emphasize that vampiric relationships are just built different. They are not the same as human relationships and human intimacy and all of that. Notice at one point, Gabriella even asked, do you like fornicating as much as you like blood? Because I believe it's like canon in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles that the blood, Lestat even talks about it in the first episode actually, that the blood is more euphoric, I'm going to use that word, euphoric than actual bumping uglies. And so she was even curious, like, do you really like that? Also, when you put in context that when she was a human and she was doing the deed, she was doing it with that ain't shit man, and produced some ain't shit children. And so she probably like, really? It's fun. It's an enjoyable activity. Really? I mean, what is horrid, you know? And horrid things come out of it. So I did very much like this episode overall. I think we got closer to the tone. We're a little bit out of the manic Lestat phase because I think his mother, as creepy as it is, she grounds him a bit. So the pacing was a little bit closer to that of Interview with the Vampire. I don't know if you should get comfortable with this pacing because, as we know, Lestat is a is manic the right word? He is a bouncing ball of emotions, and they go high, they go low in energy. And so while this is maybe a lower energy episode, I don't think it's crazy to think that we could have another high, fast-paced episode again, you know? This episode did oddly feel shorter to me than the first episode, though, even though they are about the same length, I imagine. So I'm not quite sure why. But you know, and also we got the introduce of Lestat's stutter. And I did see a comment on Reddit about the last episode of season 2, where Luis goes to meet up with Lestat in New Orleans, and Lestat goes to ask him about the date that Luis was, you know, had his big emotional moment. And as Lestat was trying to get the date out, I can't remember the date, but as he was trying to get the date out, he had a hard time saying it. And one could assume that that could be because it was emotions welling up, but I did see a theory that maybe if you know anything about stuttering, sometimes it can be impacted. Even when you work on it, it could come out more in times of high stress, high emotion. And obviously that is a very high emotional moment for him to think back on. And so him having a hard time saying that date could be because of just the emotional gravity of it all, but it could also be because of that emotional gravity, it was physically hard for him to get the words out. And I do think that that's an interesting way to kind of tie everything back all in together all over again, because I don't believe we even know if Luis knew that Lestat had a stutter. I can imagine that Luis had so much pride in himself, so much bravado, that he would not tell Luis something about that. He obviously didn't tell Luis about him and his mother. So he's definitely king of omission. He didn't tell about, you know, having a cloud gift or anything. So he's definitely prone to omitting information about himself. And so I could see that maybe talking about having a stutter, he would choose to not tell about that. And so Luis would just chalk everything up to emotion, not realizing like, oh, emotion, yes, but there's something deeper in that as well. So I don't know. I'm very, very excited to maybe next episode, since this really was a Gabriella and Lestat heavy episode, mostly getting us accustomed and to know who Gabriella is. I wonder if next episode will be Luis heavy, because that's, you know, the cliffhanger that they left it on. If we're going to get to know more of the Fang gang and see Bruce and all of that, maybe Baby Jenks again. If you know, you know. And yeah, I guess until the next episode next week, I will see you all again. Make sure that you hit subscribe. I should have said that earlier in the video. And yeah, let's till next time.